All right. Well, let me get started. All right, I'll get my screen share. Yeah, I gotta find which one I had.
So today you're going to present us with Road to Achiever, right?
I'll talk about the road to achiever.
Awesome.
Oh,
Gary.
right one called up.
Yeah, so if you want to learn how to making $400 per week, this is the class coming to.
Okay. Back to Zoom, back to screen share. Okay, today's talk is about the road to achiever, and I'm just gonna go through. Again, this is all in the back office on the website. Um, and just getting started. The purpose is to help us all get to that first, one of the first milestones. And I call the road to achiever as also the process of building builders. So if we're just getting started, our goal is to get to the next level, which would be sharer, then believer, and then builder, and then achiever. And all of us here have achieved some level of success. I'm currently a builder. Guiying is a director. Mila is your gold director. Thekla, I'm not sure. Are you a builder as well, Thekla?
Yes, I was.
And Thekla, you're a builder. So now is a really great time to be trying to find and help someone become a builder, because becoming a builder allows them to gain the upward momentum bonus. And also by achieving achiever, for those of us who are not yet at the director level, we have that opportunity to also participate in the upward momentum bonus. So again, the starting point is right here. It says the defined purpose. The starting point of all achievement is well, the first part of it is just getting started. So there is a process laid out in the book, and I do like this quote here that I found quite entertaining. There's a quote by G.K. Chesterton that guides me through business. This is from Dr. Paige Hunter, who was a 2-star diamond, and he says, a dead thing can go with a stream, but only a living thing can go against it. So kind of like it's that time of year in Alaska where we went kayaking this past week, and even 2 weeks ago at the end of the season, the salmon are at the end of their spawn, and they actually end up sort of looking like these zombie fish because they're all spawned out, and when they go up the river, and the next step for them is to basically go back to nature. They die, and Jim Lake this week was full of a lot of salmon that were basically ready to just float downstream. And but none of us are at that stage in our lives and in our careers where we want to be floating downstream. We want to be able to make our own waves, set our own direction, and go upstream. And sometimes going upstream means doing something a little bit different than what everybody else is doing. And there's so many people in our society that they say the best way to get ahead is to get a job, get a good education, get a good job, and work your job for 40 years. I'm near the tail end. In fact, I'm a little bit past the 40-year mark. So I started working actually when I was 15 years old. So I should already be a financial success. I have my lovely bride here, so I'm blessed with that. So the beginning part of the skill is on the road to achiever. We have to master all of these skills. And the first skill, and I'm going to suggest that this is a place that we all begin for next week, is the master the skill of inviting. And inviting really is about sharing our business with others who may have a need for something that we have. We all have something for anyone. We have something for anyone who has a health need. We have something for anyone who has a financial need. We have something for anyone who has a lifestyle need. So the first skill we should learn to do in our journey as a USANA associate is to learn to invite people. Now, as we begin this process too, I think one of the critical steps in our businesses is defining when are we open for business. And if we're open for business and we just have, we all have limitations on our time. We all have 24 hours in a day. And out of that 24 hours of a day, we do reserve somewhere between 6 and 8 hours a day for sleep. We reserve 8 if we work a full-time job like I do. I don't own those 8 hours that I work for myself. I owe those hours to my employer. But then after that, I have my lunch break. I have my time on lunch. I have my time after work. And I have so all of that time. So that time we divide up and we decide how we're going to prioritize that time. Now, if we want to achieve something quicker, maybe we dedicate more of our time. And again, so if let's just say there's 8 hours for sleep, 8 hours for work, that leaves 8 more hours of the day to take care of business. But sometimes some of that take care of business is spending time with our family and our loved ones. Some of that time is set aside for exercise and workout and eating. And the other part of that time is that time that we have to build our business. And I know this is something that we have talked about a little bit in the past is what are your hours for your business? And I'll say that mine have not been very consistent. And even just yesterday, I worked in our yard, our kitchen, and I was working out in the garage, just trying to create a path through our garage last night by figuring out how to hang my kayak up in the garage. So when I'm doing things like that, I'm not really active and open for business. So again, getting back to the first goal is learning to invite, to contact people, to have and prior to beginning to the invite process is creating a list. Now, I know that we've talked about the list before. We go back to January when I started the 20 and 30. We talked about that. Just getting a written list of everybody you know. Who do I know? How do I know them? And what are their needs? One of the things that I saw recently was when you look at your list, who on your list is your 3 o'clock in the morning list? Now, what does the 3 o'clock in the morning list mean? That means if you're out driving somewhere from point A to point B or traveling on vacation, who could you call at 3 o'clock in the morning and you know that they would be there for you? So that 3 o'clock in the morning list is that list of people you should be able to call up and say, hey, Mila, this is Dave. I've got something really important that I want to share with you. Do you have some time, or when can we set aside some time to take a look at this? And can we get together on either Tuesday or Thursday? I think the important part of it the important parts of that is to show some urgency, to tell them that it's important, and to let them know that there's someone that you know that you can count on. Especially, well, they don't owe you anything, you don't owe them anything. You're friends, and there are people that support you. Now, all of us have been in this USANA game for a little bit of time, so most of those people who are close to us know we're up to something. but maybe they don't know exactly what we're up to. So there it is, your 3 o'clock in the morning list. Who is your 3 o'clock in the morning list that you could call up and say, hey, I'm doing something different. How can you support me? Or would you be willing to support me by sitting down and seeing what I got to go? Then there's the other list of people who are close to you, who you know, but maybe you have to learn a little bit more about them and about what their needs are. We don't want to be just doing things that are, again, I kind of go back to how my son was taught in his limited experience with Amway, was to go out wandering the mall near his house and introducing yourselves to people at the mall. That's more like hunting than it is about prospecting. And what we're really looking for is how can we get to know people, develop relationships with people, and begin to invite them based upon their wants, desires, and needs. And since we still have the same crowd that we've been having week in and week out, it looks like inviting is a skill that we can all begin to really focus on and work on. Because until we start to get new people here, we really don't have anyone that we're working with to build to the next level. So our goal is that right now is to really sit back and say, okay, what are my hours of business and how can I be doing that? And here in the program overview, it does say inviting 10 people per day during the first 20 to 30 minutes of your business hours. And if you really focus on your invitations, the real challenge is how can you invite 10 people in under 2 minutes a person? You know, again, make the invitation something that tells them, hey, I got something really important. You're somebody I think highly of, and I really want to share this with you. And we don't want to get back into the game of answering a lot of their questions. When they answer questions, it's like, hey, if you got time for me, I'd really like to get together with you. It's our role as the business owner to take ownership of those phone calls and not begin to answer a lot of questions, because once you start answering their questions, you're sort of turning over control of the conversation to them. And it's, you know, I hate to use the word control so much, but the more information if you're only giving bits and pieces of information, you make it so much easier for someone to just say, no, I'm not interested. And we really want to get together in some fashion, whether it's a Zoom meeting across the table for coffee, or I don't know that a phone call is the greatest way, but we do have all access to Zoom meetings for one-on-one with the free sign up of Zoom as well. So again, the first step is learning to invite. The second step is learning to invite our guests to events. Now, what kind of events are we talking about? Our Monday night Zoom meetings is one event that we could begin to invite our friends and our colleagues and our prospective customers to. Our Monday night Zoom meetings. One of the other things we could invite people to, not sure if this will show up, is can you see this? The Facebook page? No? Hang on. Okay, so I'll stop share. And then I'll go to, in the USANA Associate Community page, there is the schedule that is put out for the month of October for weekly training and webinars that are put out there. And these are for Again, this is generally North American market. It is English speaking. And I know that within the Mandarin community, there's also your WeChat meetings and stuff like that. So those are the types of events that we can begin to invite people to. In fact, this week, let's see if I, this week on, can you see that one, the Andre Gordon, is that up? Okay, so this one is on this Wednesday, and if you want to listen to somebody who's really, really good at presenting the work from home, Andre Gordon does a wonderful job of going through it. It takes about 30 to 40 minutes, and Andre is a very successful person, but he just gets it into, he goes through the work from home presentation that is available to all of us on the hub page. There's also the Getting Started Right webinar that happens on Saturday mornings. So Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. And this week is Elisa, I can't remember her name. And I listened to last week's meeting in my car on the way out to go kayaking. Again, so they're taking you through. So if you have a new prospect or someone who's actually taken a look at it, here's a way to help get them started. How to get started right. And they just take you back from when you signed up. And in fact, the Stephanie Packer she's from Eastern Canada. She talked this week, and she talked to, her first survey was, how long have you been in? And there were people on the line that had been in from anywhere from under a year to over 24 years that were in listening in on the Getting Started Right webinar. Back. I'm going to go back to our those are the types of events that we have available to us within the USANA associate community, within the Mandarin community. I know you all have many more events that are going on every Monday night. There's your Thursday night Mandarin meeting. Do you have meetings on Wednesday too? No training. And you know what? We all have the opportunity to create and set up our own events as well. Again, invite a contact either directly or indirectly to attend a USANA event. And the challenge again, invite them in less than 2 minutes. Invite 10 people per day in the first 20 to 30 minutes of your business. The third skill is developing your own USANA story and presenting it. So the goal here with that is, again, what's your story? What brought you to USANA? Is it your own personal health challenges? Is it your own personal financial challenges? Is it, in the case of some people, just let's just say, I know people that are my age who are looking for something else to do in their post-retirement years. And I'm tending to look at it rather than as an opportunity to retire, more as an opportunity to repurpose. You know, I spent the last 40 years working for other people, doing jobs that someone else told me to do because if I wanted to get a paycheck, this is what I had to do. Now I have the opportunity as I approach those next 40 years of doing things that I want to do for my own reasons. And maybe if I don't have my own purpose yet, my purpose can be as simple as fulfilling Dr. Wentz's vision of creating the healthiest family on earth. But that is a big part of it. What is your goal? What is your purpose? And why do you want to do this? And if you don't have a reason why you want to do this, it does make the skills in steps 1 and 2 of learning to invite other people a little bit more difficult. So if we have a strong sense of why we want to do what we want to do, we'll have a stronger sense of wanting to follow through with the invite 10 people a day, create an event and invite people to that event. So so when I get caught up myself, when I get caught up with, oh, I don't want to invite 10 because I'm making my own excuse and I'm not really believing in my own purpose for why I want to be in this business. So I guess one of the things is, as you develop your story, you're going to develop your reason why you want to do it. Skill number 4, presenting and following up. Learning to, following up. I'm just going to kind of say the best person I know about follow-up is Gwen, and she is consistent and she is persistent in her follow-up. You know, when someone starts taking the Cell Central, she calls them up and makes sure, are you taking 2 in the morning? Are you taking 2 in the evening? How do you feel? You know, and she gives them some time to receive it. But at the time that she thinks that they've gotten their product, she'll be calling them up and saying, do you have any questions with how you should be taking these? And then within a few days, I don't know, what is your follow-up schedule?
3-day musthave, 3-day call, then follow, and next after 10 days I call.
So and that's
First
real.
call is 3 days.
Okay, so she'll follow up after 3 days and then follow up 10 days later, and it's learning to ask the right kinds of questions, you know, and the questions that you ask will a bit depend upon the relationship that you have with your customer as well. You know, so if it's a really close customer, you can maybe ask a little bit more personal questions than it is someone that you've only known a short period of time. So Gwen, do you have a few of the key things that you're asking when you're doing the follow-up? What do you think are some of the most important questions that we should ask in that first follow-up and in that second follow-up?
First follow-up, the most question, the one I ask, you follow the instruction to take every day. My customer got my product, I'll write down a message to them, tell them how to take with food, drink more water. Then after 3 days, I have first question I said, did you take every day? You take the amount I tell you. I told you all what are you feeling? You feel better? Then they told me, if they tell me, oh, I take every day, I follow the instruction you told me, I take every day, I didn't feel anything. I said the cell repair need time. Most time, like intestine work really fast, you feel more gas and maybe something go out easily. Then tell them continue to do. Then 10 days, most people 10 days, they should have feeling. If they don't have feeling, you can figure out they didn't really take every day. They just take whatever they want, not you told them to take. Continue follow. Tell them to take.
And I have to say, she reminds me all the time to follow up like my sister. And I did talk to, like when I do the follow up with my sister, she did say, well, she noticed that her nails were growing and they were shinier and they seemed to be healthier. A little bit of questioning about her is, but she's only taking one of the AM pack or, you know, just 1 pack a day in a health pack. But it is a start. We talk a little bit about the why it's important to get up to 2 in a day.
Yeah.
It's like, well, right now, I feel like, I mean, her thing was when I take the evening pack, it feels like I just taste vitamins all night long. So I'm not quite sure what's going on there, why she has that flavor. But it is just being consistent in the follow-up. And it is what got her to make her second order. So, so follow-up is a really critical, a real critical step. And as we may have or may not have heard in the past, that the fortune in our business is in the follow-up. You know, as we learn and we become better and better at following up, the better we are, you know, going to one is we're going to be showing our perspective, or not those are our new customers and associates, that we really truly care about their health. And that's why the follow-up is really important, is it shows how much we care about them. So our week 5 skill is in closing, you know, learning how to close the sale. Or I skipped over presenting, but learning what to present. 1 is our story, and 2 is the opportunity. Right now within the USANA associate community, the work from home presentation is being presented a lot. And I think if we can each learn how to present the work from home, which used to be the health and freedom, I think what's it's good to watch what the other presenters are doing and learn how they're doing it. And they put their presentations in their own words, and they're using they're using the slides to say, okay, here's this, the slide is a cue, and the slide is a cue for my own story and my own way of presenting it. I think it's really important that we learn how to, I can send a presentation to someone to read, but it gives it something more when I can present it within and present my own stories within the presentation and share, you know, this is how the health pack made me feel. This is how the Dansei lotions has helped my skin and helped moisturize. This is what the you know, the exfoliating, how that does for my skin. You know, so it gives us a chance to share our favorite products, how they affect us, and why we like them, and that little personal touch to our presentations gives us an opportunity to really share and open up about ourselves and show them that we really do use the product and how it does really affect us. The closing skill, have not mastered that. This is not something, you know, I'm not going to brag about, because, you know, I haven't mastered closing. So practice closing in various forms during the presentation. You know what, I need somebody a whole lot more skilled and practiced to help me through this stage. But that's why we're here together as well. We do have a team. You know, we have experienced people within our team with John and Mila and David Peters and Gwen and you know, we're not in this all on our own. And that's what we're here to also share, is that when we bring somebody new in here, you don't have to know it all to begin with, because we're going to be there with you as you grow through the process. Skip down to the skill of answering questions and addressing people's concerns. I think one of the easiest ways we can address concerns is we can share with them some of the things that they might expect. You know, so if someone's new to a health pack, they might, or Cell Essentials, you know, we might say, you know, one of the first things you might notice is is how things are a little bit different, how you're feeling. You might see that your urine is much brighter for a little bit of time. You know, it has this different color. Again, sometimes that just, you know, and I don't think you even have to be all that close to them. It's just like, you bought this product. I want you to know how it may affect you at first. That's normal. So when you're experiencing things that are normal, but then we can also give them some clues as to things that we can watch out for. As Dr. Rob Sinnott says in one of his presentations, some of the first things you'll notice is the energy that you'll have. You might have a little bit more energy during the day. You'll start to notice that your nails are starting to grow. You'll have to trim them more often. They're shinier, but that's a good thing, because that's a good a sign of good health. But as they're asking questions too, it gives us the opportunity to really tune in to what they're saying, to listen. And if we don't understand, to ask them to rephrase or to restate things in a way that helps us understand what's going on in their world. Because again, we're in this to help other people, help people we care about achieve something within their life, whether it's a health goal. And I know that that's something that to me is very important for my family, is that they are able to live an active and healthy life. Skill 7, building your, blending your skills and creating exposures. Again, I'm so far back onto, I keep circling back to learning skill 1, which is inviting, that I haven't got this far down in the process yet, the blending your skills and creating exposures. As we learn each skill that we have the opportunity to teach those to those around us. So when we master inviting, it makes it much easier to share how to invite with our new associates and our new friends, and just guiding them through the process. What opportunities do they have to grow financially through this business? So that's what I have on the skill blending and skills and creating exposures. One of the things about it is, once we've invited somebody a first time, it's really important to follow up on that invitation and follow up. They do say that sometimes it takes 7 to 9 exposures to get someone's attention to really take a look at it. And I remember listening to Eric Worre talk about watching the ads for My Pillow, and he said he would see it and see it and see it and see it, and he sort of intends to buy a My Pillow, but he has not done it yet. So I don't think I've seen it enough to want to buy a My Pillow, but just because that wasn't something that interested me. But week 8, skill blending and your skills with macronutrition. I think it's very important as we grow through the process that we continue to learn. We learn the products. We learn how they support our health at different levels. The health pack does this for us. The cells, basic is Cell Essentials. What do the Cell Essentials do for us? What optimizers are good for what age groups, or what persons, or what differences each one of us has. We all are different in some way, and we all have different needs with our nutrition. I think the very most important place that we can learn is by applying it to ourselves. What is it that helps me, and where am I growing in my nutrition, or where am I beginning to understand my nutritional needs? I know that many of the people I ask, how are you feeling when you get started? I hear that I don't know. And I think that's why it's very important to ask them more direct questions to learn, well, how is your energy in the afternoons now, or what other, there are different things. I know Gwen has conversations with many different people about their digestion and their and everything else, and we've learned. She's learned. She had an early on customer who developed hives because of because of the toxins that were in his body, and early on, not knowing what she knows today, it was harder to guide that person through that process. We had dinner with Samuel the other night. Samuel from Barrow, Mila, who's down in your line. And he talked to us a little bit about when he got started, about his experience with basically a hives. His whole, he started taking the Hepacil and the detox. It came out through his skin, so he started to notice a rash in his skin. And over time, he recognized it for what it was. And that's how it affected him. Knowing what we know now, it's easier to help guide someone through that process than it was a long time ago. Throughout this process, along the road to Achiever, it's also a guide for each of us to learn more about, one, ourselves. I don't think we'll ever be a success by being the person that came into this business. We have to grow. I think it's imperative that we make a choice to grow with our business. We're going to grow in our knowledge and understanding of how we relate to people. We're going to grow in our knowledge of understanding about cellular nutrition and products. We're going to learn about products and how they support healthy skin, and how they help support healthy mind, and how they, all of that. And even the lifestyle changes that we're going to go through to really benefit the most from our use of the products with USANA. If we continue to, and I'll use myself as an example, if I started just taking vitamins and supplements like I did initially, I would take my health pack, and then on Friday and Saturday night, I would go out and eat a big fatty prime rib with French fries and baked potato and sour cream and onions. And I did have a healthy salad, but I gobbed on a bunch of salad dressing. Now that's not really making a healthy lifestyle change by just adding vitamins. So then it's learning how to eat better, change one habit at a time. I have had a lot of assistance in this, and I thank her very much for it, because it's really improved. It even made my hair grow shorter. My exposure to Wei Ying has helped my hair grow shorter, and it looks better. And so I've been very blessed. It really has been a process, and it is learning. No matter how old or how young we are, we have the opportunity where we can continue to learn and grow through that. Kind of buzzing through here. Skills, connecting with your market. Who is your market? Do we really know who our market is? Who do we relate best to? I'm of a different generation than everybody else in this room. I'm in the 60 plus. I never realized at one point in time, it's like I've entered it makes me sound really old when I say I've entered the 7th decade of my life, So it's like, wow, I used to think of that as, 70-year-old people are really old. But, I'm approaching that. but the goal is still to be healthy throughout that time. So I have the opportunity to connect to people that are in the 7th decade of their lives and say, hey, I feel great when I come back from a trip kayaking, and you know, we went out this past weekend, and it seemed at first like a nice leisurely paddle down the boat, but on this river, and it was for a long time. And then we hit this one patch where the water was too shallow, and you get stuck. You get stuck on the bottom, and you got to figure out how to get out. Well, first thing is you take your paddle apart and you use it to kind of push yourself ahead and push yourself ahead and push yourself. But then all of a sudden it's like, well, the water's only like this deep. So you gotta get out, and you drag you drag the kayak and drag the kayak and drag, through big puddles of water. Then I saw my friend Scott was stuck. So I went over to help him get pushed into deeper water. Boy, was that a mistake. I got him unstuck, but then I sunk into the silt up to my knees and had to figure out how to get out. And, I always have a goal when I go out in the kayak to stay dry, because stay dry means stay warm. So thankfully I had good gear, but good gear is only as good as where you can keep the water out. I did get a little bit wet, but again, when you go prepared, and you wear the right clothes, you don't get cold. So off to the sideline. So, but connecting with your market. Who is your market? Who is your market? Who do you know? And who's a lot like you? That's the place we're going to probably see some of our first success is connecting with people who are a lot like us, who have the same kind of interest, the same kind of activities, the same age groups, maybe sometimes not the same age groups, maybe it's sometimes younger. But again, those places that we're at, and the places that we know people who, if you're in a job that other people are frustrated with their jobs, and you might be a little frustrated with yours, you have that in common with them. If you're in a job where everybody loves what they do, you have that in common with them. So finding commonalities with people around us, that's connecting with our markets and building our markets. And really what we're looking for is people who want to be on our team, who like being around us. Who do we like being around? So our skill is connecting with our market, building a team of people who want to move forward. There are a lot of people out there who just want to stay where they're at. And, we don't want to get stuck being dragged back behind by them. So, once we've mastered on the skills of weeks 1 through 12, we get to do it all over again, in that we get to duplicate those skills. We share what we learned, and we build it in others. And as we begin to learn the process, and we build and we build and we build, we'll learn to duplicate and share. So the pain of growing for yourself first in the first 12 weeks, and then you get to start the process all over again in week 13 with your team. Start bringing your team through the same process. The building builders. We do have the next 6 weeks to promote and build and grow with the upward momentum bonus. For those of us who are at a level below director, that should be a real incentive. A $300 bonus on a $200 on becoming a builder should be a really great incentive. A $500 bonus to become an achiever should be a really great incentive. As those of you who are at the director level or below, if you were able to help 5 people become an achiever, that's 5 people adding $200 a week to somewhere below your rank of bringing in that volume into your tree. We all grow with upward momentum, no matter where it begins or where it goes. Holy cow. Week 14, 15, 16. Skill duplication, planning events, creating events. And if you're looking for ideas for events, there's the sip and scrubs, there's reset. There are reset events. There are all sorts of things that we can do to highlight different products that we have available to us to help people with different sorts of problems. You know, if I have a bunch of fat friends, I can challenge them to a reset challenge. Or if I have a bunch of not fat friends, we can look for other things to do. I really think. I was talking to Skylar the other night about learning how to do a sip and scrub, because she's a younger person with, again, Mila, sort of in your age group, where younger women are concerned more about I won't say more, but have concerns about their beauty, their face and the products. So those sip and scrubs look like kind of a fun little event that is a way to introduce our friends and our families to the skincare line. And they use that event as well to talk about all of the other, many of the other products. So that's one of the projects that I'm working on with Skylar, is to attend one of these other group sip and scrubs. I sent a calendar of events out to her for the month of October. And then I sent a video to her from one of the women in, I think she's in California, who talked about how to do a sip and scrub. And again, if you're not, are you familiar with the sip and scrubs?
Mm-hmm.
So if you've seen some of the videos on it, it's just kind of, again, it's more of a Zoom party that's taken place of, and I'll just go date myself way back. I remember as a kid, my mom used to go to Tupperware parties, where a bunch of the neighborhood ladies would get together, and the Tupperware lady would come and show them all the new plastic bowls that were coming out by Tupperware. So many plastic bowls are now available in the stores that I don't even know if Tupperware ladies still have parties.
Nope.
Yeah, as we go through this, this whole process is a process of growth. And by the time we get to week 16, which many of us are long beyond, we should have developed some skills in leadership and how to lead and develop our team. And, if we're stuck somewhere back in the beginning, again, I think what the real challenge is, identify where you're at and go back a week and challenge yourself to master that skill. And since I am stuck at Builder, here's where I need to go. I need to go back to week 1. I need to master the skill of inviting. I need to learn how to and commit to inviting 10 people per day. I need to set regular business hours. And when I get home from work, and I have plenty of time, I have opportunity to set that time, because I work my 8 hours. I come home, Gwen and I have dinner. And at that point in time, we'll take Lily out for a walk and we'll do something in the evening. And then the opportunity is, okay, on Wednesday through Friday, my hours of business are 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. I am committed to doing something with my business for that 1.5 hours, 5 days a week. I have no excuse for Saturday because she's gone. She's not my distraction. I'm my distraction on Saturdays. So what are the hours that you're planning to set aside? So, and I can speak for myself. This is where I need to go. I need to challenge myself to master the week 1 goals. And if I can't master it in week 1, I have to continue to learn that lesson until I got it. And when I have that, then I can move on to week 2 and master the week 2 goals. week 1 and week 2 are very similar, so I can use what I'm learning in week 1 to invite people to week 2 events. Week 2 events, it's really important to know what your calendar is and what's coming up, so we know where and what to invite people to. And John, for the one thing that I don't do well is I wait to the last minute. So if I know my calendar for Thursday night, last Thursday, I should be inviting people to next Thursday. Last Wednesday, I should be inviting people to this Monday's, and doing the follow-up. How many times do I need to follow up to get them to this Monday meeting, to the Thursday meeting, to the other meetings? We cannot expect someone who does not know what we know to be as committed to attending these events as we are. So we have to find a way that engages their interest in joining an event. There's my road to Achiever, but the big challenge is as on our road to Achiever, we are on the road to helping build builders. How do we create upward momentum on our own road to Achievers is look for opportunity in other people's needs, desires, or wants. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I really like how you the quotes earlier. It says the normal fish will follow the stream. The success fish will go against it. Or
A dead fish can float downstream. Yeah, right. Dead fish can float downstream. When we put a little life into our party, we can go upstream. But we can also get stuck on the bottom. I found that out this weekend. When we're a dead fish floating downstream, we can still get stuck in shallow water. And that's, I guess that's when the bears come and eat you. So anyways, so we don't want to be the dead fish floating downstream.
Right, not too many dead fish.
I guess you're a dead fish, who cares? So
It's
anyways,
doctor care dead fish.
what?
Doctor cure dead fish.
Oh, the doctors cure dead fish. The doctors might create dead fish. So anyways, a big challenge is what's your reason for being here? Why are we all here? We all have a purpose. We all have, some sort of a dream. And let's get out and let's kind of define that dream and let's move forward with our own dream, instead of I hate to use the example, but when you get when you get stuck in a job for 40 years, I started working when I was 15 years old. So I've been working for someone else now for 46 years.
Wow.
Oh, that's a long
time.
Yeah, Glenn tells me I have another 40 years to work. I might as well do something that I love to do. So.
That's double my age. Yeah, I really like also one thing I just recently learned from the entrepreneur roller coaster from Darren Hardy. He said that to minimize people who are more in USANA, to minimize people who are not really into USANA is to ask them if they know their dream. And because people realize their own dream, they are easier to approach rather than people don't know their dream. Whereas in USANA that we want to look in people who have a dream. People don't have a dream, they don't have any self attention to be success. They don't even know what they want, so you will waste a little bit more time on them rather than people have a clear direction what they want to be. So that's one way to, when you're inviting, filter people who have a dream first. You invite them first, and then secondly, I guess, focus on other people on your list.
Oh, but you know what? You know how to attract people with a dream is to have one yourself. You know, that law of attraction that we talk about, and I know that John's talked about it, Gwen's talked about it to me, is we attract what we're, you know what, we attract what we have too. So yeah, if we have a dream, we'll attract people with a dream to us. But we have a, yeah, if we don't have a dream, we, you know, if we're a dead fish floating down the river, maybe we just attract more dead fish. So
What suggest like, or make a post on social media like, well, what's our dream, and maybe ask them what's yours.
So that's all I have. I don't know. So do we have a topic for next week? Anybody have some burning desire topic that they want to present next week?
So we have something missed last week, right? We can
Yeah.
have that topic.
Oh, we did skip the list last week, didn't we?
We are going to you are going to present the resource from the web, and then Mila also present something from the web, from
The resource from what, John?
Yeah, I forgot the detail. We talked about the promotion last week, but actually we have a topic for last week, right?
Oh, we did.